Okay, so kicking one around here tonight. Uh, Doing it up. Kind of playing with that director of information technology, v senator, v president, v Putin in the stone mill. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Step in the cage. Me and you for it. You say you quant physicist, big shit. You should be able to walk in here and tell me something about the organization time process in here that I missed. Catch me like my safety officer would be able to do if they were really watching me one day, like over my shoulder with the air crane, missing turns. Olympic Russian judge, right? Like you in there. That's Senate for me, man. I don't know what you're rolling the statue build, where you're pulling money in from, where's the energy in the Tesla free energy machines that he was building. I mean, composition of the ground. You stick a rod in the ground with the right piece of metal, tungsten carbon steel, a piece of plastic housing, right? Whatever it is, and you pour enough acid in the ground, and that makes a difference to the dirt. That makes a electrical reaction happen because that type of atmosphere topography, topo on the triple point of what's going on in there makes energy and it taps into there. Or you figure out wind resistance and ways to make tiny little friction generators that conduct EM fields, or figure out the phase oscillation. Well, you just get right the hell on. And that's all physics and really cool stuff. And, a lot of times somebody's going to come at you to the desk like that, i.e. me. I might send a couple of tungsten rods that way. See if you guys can make that work in gear. Uh, so, again, my big play is for Delhi. I think that's a big little city, nice little town. Got Hancock in the area. You got the Delhi or Delaware County region down. Pieces Deposit, Walton's in there, Downsville, Callicoon probably. It's a big region with probation officers that go wide and stuff. So you're going to get a lot of that. And again, because I was in Delhi prison, I know the system. I imagine the college works the same way, especially if they kick in the NP problem around still. And I still hear it coming up. It's a hot cookie still from like weeks ago, months ago. It's a standard model. Hey, just like the revamped diamond tethered spaceships and two gorillas, little gorillas screaming fish. Whatever you want to jump into from Carl Sagan and whoever's nuking Mars this week in their D&D build for psychology, and the kid and at the desk at UHS and behind or in the bed at Arkham, right? They just become in Mars, and you're trying to figure out how to get the organisms and group theory out there to make it work. So somebody comes at you to the desk, like I said. And I really don't have anything to beat that in my desk contract. Here's your little pitting on it. My general's making this. If they weren't going to field that, or how I have to detail that information back and forth, how many of those things do you miss off on? Puts it back in. I get 3% on that, or 1% of that system extra, and I'm making a standard X, right? My standard X is 51%. I capitalize on the little mistakes as a trainer that you're going to make, or how I position the entropy of who's in the region in the rabbit hat today, right, as the magician. And I got to pull out what the best idea in a vote is based on a standard that most people are going to think. What am I going to do? I'm going to engineer, hell yeah, a vote where I can put that thing out to as fast and as many people as causally to the limit to get back a response of who's playing inside of the timeline, or generally base the statistics off of that number. And I want to close that down in my region, right? I want to give certain cops the investigative standard to say, hey, these are your people in the region. We have a limited detail of systems that works Hancock to New York City. We give you certain amount of responsibilities. It comes with pressures and stresses of what that represents inside here. Olympics of what the Senate is, of what judge, jury, who comes in here, steps in here. Could be a captain, chief, dog trainer. I mean, given the play, who's doing what on the flubel crank that makes the job easier at the desk? If I got to pull you over, hey, you guys want the little envelope in that and see them tied in there like that, then we can do a sub announcement on, one little photon dropped into live PD, right? That's the note right there. Or we could go straight up governmental. Hey, this is your president. We do this on CNN from time to time, and go figure we did it on the one channel instead of taking over your kids' Cartoons Network or whatever, because that kind of gets Marxist and, a little commie out there about Black Ford in the world. Hey, government cheese on the phone here. It doesn't matter your fundamental failure behavioral in the stock market, your insider trading, the stockholders who you're talking to, the military type inventions on our civilian type models and American patent design. uh, and it's all a crapshoot of who's learning it, how much they're into it, and then figuring out their own rhythm. And then that would cause a phase oscillation in the main system, especially if enough people of those type models. And you have to generate the understanding of what those things are. So people come at you with stock. They come at you with the military. They come at you with the police system. Like I said, you have to design what the census is for that box. Go out there and map out where New York is, where Hancock's town limit is, who's doing the outside regional things on those probation officers, Senate or Senate officers. You could get Census Bureau, officers trained to do something. IRS, I'd get them out there one day. They'd be manning a post out in Alaska, counting Pidgeys, just out there. And you training today. We really do have a special forces. I love the general furnace model. It works for a great thermodynamics energy type of way to conduct the frictionless machine. You take that stuff out into the woods right now, that cube, and you're putting it right here and watching it act like a Bose-Einstein condensate in terms of the red shift, blue shift if calculated into the mass calculation that you're applying to a spin or a charm or a Higgs boson or a Bose-Einstein condensate again. The Higgs boson is all those reactions calculated and compensated for in a dark matter reaction. All the loops are cut off back into one systems that are adjusted back into the standard element and through the thing back wrapped around, and boy, it would have a whole lot of needs in terms of a diamond shit and dragon. Oh boy, frictionless machines. That's your math class. That's why, given spatial locations, you should be able, into 1 day, 6 days, any given pattern, 1 and 0, determine, I need this many fishies, this many of the things. Then I got to count the rabbits to make sure that winter coming around, given the weather of the triple body problem, that is the triple point of human survival, alive or dead. You are a solid, liquid, or gas at this point, given some of those standards. Living in a volcano or depending on, under the ocean, you're liquid at this point. You're gaseous state, just slowly, stoichiometrically. Well, I'll get you there. So, what do you want? How much is the thing? Why is the thing? In terms of it, they voted me to be mayor to say, your interpretation is fair at the value at the table. When it comes up to the vote, you vote for it. If the vote comes down for it, I do my job to provide the information on the timeline to you if you're heading this, or if it's one of my secondaries on that, past this vote or that gate inside of this to determine what that is. And if that's a timeline, that's a timeline. If that's a ruling based on the judge, that's a ruling based on the hand that calls the judge that makes that decision on the final decision in that territory. I was wrong, and the person that was going to do this, or of the subset to field that question from there, given the responsibilities of this whole thing, is handled. And if I have that matrix worked out, or I design a system that helps you rebuild that system inside the region, then yeah, that's what you want to do. And like I said, local militias, local Mason chapters aren't just Mason chapters. There's businesses inside of that handle that. And we want to get in on that in the workforce program, because that's all of those things. It standardizes the test, teaches them general relativity, teaches them special relativity, polarizing wave function. And anytime I need to adjust that into a SAW program, that's going to be my link. I'm not talking about engineering schematically for, the floor manager for what that is. If all of those use the standard model of something like that, marshmallow, experiment, that is an XYZ, Lorenzo, right back to a rabbit trap. And then we go right back to Lorenzo. It's your HUD design, and we're not hunting rabbit today, we're hunting irrational numbers or acoustic flutters, because that's a negative number or a positive number. All the working joules that go into a rabbit hunt aren't just negative physics or positive physics. I need to know that negative number because that quantum operates me across the Y function Otherwise, Z is going to zero it out. It's within the entropy still, and those grid frames kind of slide back over to new XY systems. And in entirety, that's going to look like a hurricane. That's going to say wind temperature, low pressure, high pressure in that region for that area, invertedly, reverse engineered. You know, he's going to have a lot of rabbit in there. I don't necessarily need the same calculus he needs, or whatever that is from an alien spacecraft perspective, I suppose. Just sunshine in the sky. You know, on the other side, I was probably sleeping at night. Daytime, he's up. Rabbits are up. They're easier to count during the day. So if he's doing rabbit count, it's probably going to be during the day. From that N1/2, where I'm going, where you're going, where's the money going based on the net never changed. That's what we have at this point in time. I'm supposed to know that number. It goes into the basic check account. I mean, it would be a really simple system based on a higher base program. You're saying that, and then that's this. And if we do that decision here based on the trickle in, how much is the bottom bar? Don't go, I do that with my paycheck. Like, we can't really make any decisions, not even a damn pizza party from here. So beyond that, you know, what is the common first thing in gravity here that says that's our first black hole? And we got a Mentos Coca-Cola that thing to go get the Turing machine running here and get this card into that other card eventually without this other player knowing, and hopefully pretty damn quick, like it's mechanics N1/2, not just filing through the random version of the deck. Holy damn, this is such a large, you know, like a little bit more than that would take it up. And straight over, you know, you get that Magic Gathering one done, you know, and then that's straight over, right? Because, you know, which ones of those tighten down? You're in a field that gives it the orc advantage or the fire advantage, regardless of the standard, unless they were packing across territory like that. You know what? And you roll in there like that because it's gravity. You grab it and you stand in front of that machine gun. If it was that one standard against the calculations that they would have to be living in against the player who was doing it. Now, if that was me and they knew that was the one play that they're going to do, and then we're playing, did I put the poison in the one cup or both cups game? And, well, probably by the time you hit that water and you're looking at my deck, I might have had something that would have hit anyways across the board and upside down territory from that 190-degree pivot point that'll swing, you know. Yep, double spring backflip right off into that. Pretty much just ran through the wall. Grabbed the Doomslayer gun, ran out. Then I had to go chase his ass down and get it back. Got afraid he wasn't going to give it back. I mean, money's all over the board. They talk. I mean, I'm just to be the cynic in my side, Alexander. I really don't care who it is in front of me, standing in the with the Dalai Lama and the rest of the Yetis up in the Himalayas, hanging, chilling out. Anybody in the room becomes fair game. We on the same page. We understand the adjusted number, what goes on with that.